3, 2, 1, let's go. And Mom's in the background.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Mom is still a little bit under the weather, but she's getting better.
She's alive.
Oh,
Yeah. And kicking.
Yes, and doing her thing.
Yeah.
Giving people a lowdown.
Giving people the harsh facts.
Like, I'm just like, can I be 100% frank with you? And they're like, please do.
I love that people love Mom's tough love.
They do. They're asking for it.
That's crazy.
I know. They're like, just give it to me how it is. I'm like, I'm
Give
not
it to
gonna
me
candy
how
coat
it
anything.
is.
We
Like,
don't
just
candy coat up in here.
slap me across the
Yes.
face with it.
She's like, Mama Kim, just tell me how it is.
Like, it's crazy, bro. It is crazy.
I
like,
love those kind of people who just like give me the truth.
we want to see your mom. Mom's in the background. Mom, if you want to come, you can come.
Oh my God.
But hi guys, how are you doing?
You can't see me.
You can be on this side. That's why I moved myself.
Hi.
Mom's here.
Hi.
I have a success story for us today. And we were just chit-chatting, waiting for you guys to come on. So feel free to share it out to your friends. It's going to be a really good one. This one is a little bit more personal. And to be honest, I don't even know all the details. So I'm going to be learning with you. I'm just really excited. I have a good close friend of mine, like a personal friend, that we have been internet friends for what I'll say jokingly, like 7 years. Because it's just been forever, bro. It's just been forever. Like, I don't even know. We're at least in the decade club, aren't we?
Oh my God. Have you ever met her?
No, we haven't yet.
Oh my God.
At least the decade club. And so when it comes to this situation, she has utilized, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know this until she texted me one day, because she's got my personal number, obviously, because we've been friends for ages. And we have supported each other through highs and lows. I have seen this woman, in really dark situations, feeling down about herself, not feeling good. And she has seen me at my worst situations, and we have supported each other and been there for each other, almost like internet friends for, 7 years, like I mentioned. So one fine day, I just get a message from her that I manifested my dream man. And I was like, wait, what? Because we have times in our friendship where, we have bouts of silence. And with the way both of us kind of, use coping mechanisms, usually when someone goes silent, it means they're sad. It means they're like kind of taking a little mental health break, you know what I mean? And, we love that. We respect that. We respect those boundaries.
Yes.
And so I didn't know that this silent bout was because we actually just casually manifested like a dream man.
Hey.
So I was like, I need to hear the dirty deets, bro.
We need the details,
I
girl.
need these dirty details.
We need the details.
Don't leave anything out. I'm ready for it all. And so that's kind of what we're here to learn about today. For those of you who don't know, I do have a free masterclass coming up literally tomorrow in my Facebook group. And we thought this would be a fun way to kind of intro some of the things I'd be going over in the masterclass by promoting this amazing success story. And she didn't get coaching with me. She just literally utilized the free teachings I have. She was listening to me kind of behind the scenes. She was taking her own notes. She was applying. And granted, and I don't say this to how do you say, brag or anything like that, but I've seen her follow a lot of coaches. I have followed a lot of coaches, and she had not been fully successful in this area. Like, she was successful in love in the past, but then the relationship kind of didn't go where it was supposed to go, and the guy was weird and stuff like that. But this time around, she has like the dream man. And honestly, like,
Girl, we need
marriage, you know what I mean? Like, engagement. I'm just ready for it all. So I'm going to introduce her and let her kind of speak. So I'm not going to say your name, but I'm just going to
call her R.
Yeah, we're just going to say R.
Okay.
And then when it comes to the situation, honestly, I'd love for you to just give people a small, like, little summary of what you manifested, and then I'll go into some questions on the how, the who, what, when, where, why, and all that fun jazz. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below, and I'll try to pick out the best ones. But I want you to also say like what it was exactly that you manifested, and
Okay.
I love it.
So, as Persis has said, it has been a roller coaster ride, and I'm going to try not to go on a tangent, so Persis, keep me in check.
I'll keep you on track.
Mom will keep you in check too.
But yeah, I met Persis and I met in a Facebook group probably like 8 years ago. Almost 10 years ago. Wow, that's crazy.
I know. We're definitely at least in the decade club.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I felt drawn to you. And so ever since then, like, we sparked up a friendship in that Facebook group, and then we just continued to talk, going through so many journeys, and life's ups and downs, etc., and until we ended up here. So I was in a very low place, or the sunken place, as some people say. And I grew up in church. So one day I messaged Persis and I was like, oh my God, I don't understand what is going on. My life is so bad and I just don't understand it, right? And she told me, she's like, well, have you ever heard of the law of attraction? And I'm like, the law of attraction? What is that? So she went into it and gave me some details about it, and I likened it to, because I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, I likened it to that. And so honestly, it was something I was already doing that I didn't even know I was doing, but I was doing it in all the wrong ways.
Yeah. Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
And so because of that, I got to talking to Persis, and I started watching her videos and stuff like that. And I gained a better understanding of what it was. And I realized that my self-concept for all of the things I had been through childhood, through adolescence, adulthood, was really had been decided because I did not have a great self-concept of myself. Because everyone around me had told me that I was not good enough, that I needed too much attention, all of the things, right? And so once I was able to connect it to religion and like, okay, so manifesting is just like praying, right? So if I can pray, then I can command and demand and reorganize, change my thought process, change my mindset, and really get on track to do what I really want to do and to be who I really want to be. So in my research and with Persis' help, I had a moment where, so I'm a collector. I love makeup and perfume, Starbucks cups. Don't judge me.
I love Starbucks.
Mom's a
too.
Starbucks person. I think
love
you already know
Starbucks.
how I feel about that, but that's okay. I love you anyway. Listen, we all have our own things,
Yes, I have slowed down though. I haven't bought one in probably almost a year, so I'm super proud of myself.
That's funny.
But I had a moment where I was going through my makeup and my perfume, just kind of reorganizing, and I just bursted out into tears. And I had been doing manifesting. I'm not very good at scripting or journaling because I have ADHD, and it's very hard for me to follow through with things. Mm-hmm. But what really helped me was listening to my affirmations that I had recorded on my cell phone as I was falling asleep, or where they call it, the state akin to sleep, because it's been said that your subconscious is more susceptible while you're falling asleep. Absolutely. And not only that, your subconscious is more willing to buy into your manifestations or your affirmations if it's done in your own voice. So what I would do is I would listen to the meditations that Persis has on YouTube, and then as throughout the day, or right before I was getting ready for bed, and then I would put on my affirmations, and I would listen to them as I was sleeping. And the more and more I do that, because my goal is always to do something that I want to change for 21 days, because it takes 21 days to make a new habit.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I was doing that, and what I realized is that, like, if I was kind of waking up and groggy, I could hear myself reciting those affirmations in my head as I was coming out of my sleep state.
Mm-hmm.
So shortly after I incorporated this into my routine, I had that moment when as I was organizing my makeup, organizing my perfumes, and I just started bawling, just tears, emotion, everything. And I had really, I feel like that was the breaking point of when my subconscious really bought into it, and accepted that I was changing and I was growing and I was the God of my reality.
If I could just chime in for like 2 seconds, I just want to speak to this because what the point she's making is such a good point. I just want to chime in for 2 seconds. Please don't lose your train of thought.
No.
So I want to speak to, her emotions that were coming up in the process of listening to her sleep tracks and things of that nature. Obviously her, struggle a little bit with follow through with ADHD and things of that nature. The emotional journey of identifying your, I'm just going to say limiting beliefs, where you're not being the person, where you're not in the state, where you don't have the beliefs, the feelings, the emotions, the state of being, state of mind, and to identify it and then to dissolve it. It is an emotional journey. And when you identify the exact beliefs that are keeping you separate from what you want, and you do belief work to turn them into what they need to be so that the desire can fulfill itself and that you can be one with it rather than separate from it. A lot of times, 95% of people, self-concept is going to solve 95% of problems, especially for women. Especially for women in love, because women tend to make love a very personal thing.
And I don't want to interrupt you. I had 2 calls this morning, and both of my clients were like, it always comes back to self-concept, and a lot of people are doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that.
Yeah. And so the point that I want to make here is that when she had those overwhelming amount of emotions come up, and when she became, emotionally overwhelmed at a few points, it's really because she had given it to herself so many times that her heart kind of bursted open, and it healed her. It healed her from the inside out. Because what is a self-concept? A self-concept is really a compilation of the beliefs and emotions that you acquired from your romantic relationships with other people. So the compilation, all the boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever it is, situationships that you've had, any romantic encounters with people, each and every single one, our self-concept is a compilation of how we felt and, the beliefs we took on from, the deterioration of those relationships, and what we have to focus on in order to attract better, high quality relationships, men, experiences, treatment, the whole 9 yards, the princess treatment, the queen treatment, passenger princess, Pilates princess, whatever it is that you're after, is we've got to audit those beliefs and we've got to shift them in a favorable direction. So if you're without what you want right now, it's because you have beliefs that are keeping you separate. When you shift those beliefs, what you want, and you become one and you experience it. So yeah, I say all that to say that when it comes to romantic relationships for women specifically, but also men, it's such a personal thing, especially because I imagine almost all 70, 80 people, however many are on this call, and other people listening elsewhere, that when relationships broke down, I'm willing to bet money that the people on this call are very much like R and myself, where we are the types of people that are we wear our heart on our sleeve. We care a lot. We care a lot. We give a lot. We love a lot. We give the most amount of hoots about a situation. We're the overkind, overcaring, overloving, overgiving type of individuals. And all we want is to be able to give the unconditional receive the unconditional love that we so selflessly give to another. We just want to be able to receive that back. We just want reciprocal treatment here. And potentially, if it's possible, to get a level even above that. And so when it comes to this type of scenario, when your relationships, the compilation of them broke down in the past, a part of your brain, even though you may not be aware of it, maybe kind of like broke a little bit, consciously or unconsciously, because in your mind, you probably would have done anything to make that relationship work, because that's how your mind works. Your mind doesn't work in throwing people away. It works in the form of let's fix the problem. And because you would have done anything most probably to fix it, but the other person didn't have that type of perspective, let's put it that way.
A different lens.
A part of your brain kind of like couldn't comprehend like why they didn't do that. And so when the brain seeks answers in that type of emotionally heightened state, because there's no real excuse in your mind, because you would have done anything. You would have compromised, you would have worked on the relationship, you would have done this, you would have done that. But when they didn't, a part of you was like, oh, well, then this is a me issue. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve it. And that's the basis of like all self-concept problems. So anyway, please do continue. So when it comes, yeah, go ahead.
To your point though,
yeah,
the thing that I had to realize, because I'm very hard-headed and I'm very stubborn, and I'm a very much I want to do things my own way. A lot of people forget that manifesting can be done any way you want it to be.
Yep. Just
because you hear someone say an affirmation. For example, I wake up every morning and I say, I am grateful for the life I have. I am deserving of everything I desire. Mm-hmm. I am a money magnet. Money finds its way to me. And I love money and it loves me. I am successful and abundant in all areas of my life.
Yeah.
So those are my affirmations, and I resonate with those. Just because those are my affirmations doesn't mean it has to be someone else's.
Yeah.
You can manifest any way you want to. And that's what I did. I took Persis' teachings along with a little bit of, Google advice or Google research, and I made it my own experience. So when I sat down and I felt that shift in my subconscious, like everything was just fine. It was okay. Like I when I came out of it, I was fine. And I realized that I don't have to do my shadow work, as they say. I just have to accept it to be able to live with it.
Yeah. That's kind of where I want to go in for 2 seconds, because you're going right into my question, which is like, what are the teachings that you find most valuable that you think other people really need to get on? It could be teachings, it could be concepts, it could be anything to help them get the types of results you did. Because I know we spoke about this privately, so this is like a perfect transition. I want you to kind of go into this, and I know this was a huge one.
So this started with me with just your basic self-concept teachings. I watched a lot of those, and I repeatedly watched a lot of those to make sure that I understood what I needed to change and how I needed to change it. Then I moved to the equation, and forgive me, I can't remember the name of that equation that you came up with.
It's okay. It's manifestation equation.
Yes, the manifestation equation. I use that one relentlessly as well, to a T.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much where I started.
Yeah. And so, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so a big part of the misunderstanding a lot of the times these days on the internet is that we're just supposed to kind of affirm positive and ignore the negative. Our perspective and my perspective has always been different. And that made a huge difference for her. So what she's saying is that we have to be able to accept the negative in order to internalize the positive. And I've been saying this for over a year, that it's a two-step process. It's letting go of the old, internalizing the new. Letting go of the old, internalizing the new. If this represents like the old story right here, or actually I'll choose the bigger bottle. If this represents the old story right here, and this is what I hold to be true in my heart, and because my thoughts and my feelings dictate, the quality of experiences that I have with men or women, what will happen is this, my heart space, these compilation of beliefs and feelings act as an electromagnetic field. It represents my aura, my electromagnetic field. And because how I think and how I feel dictate the quality of men or women and the quality of experiences and how much I'm chosen and how much I'm committed to and how much I'm loved and how much I'm cared for and how much I'm shown up for and the amount of money in my bank account and the health that I have in my life and literally everything. It's like my thoughts and my feelings create my reality, and that is stored in my heart space, and it acts as an electromagnetic field. It acts as an electromagnetic field, and then what happens is like attracts like. So if I feel and if I believe that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not chosen, I will attract people, places, and experiences to validate that. The problem is then people use that to victimize themselves because, oh, I want amazing love, but I'm only attracting people who offer less. I'm only attracting people who want a situationship. I'm only attracting people who aren't giving me the type of treatment and care and quality commitment that I deserve. Well, knowing that we are magnets, all of us are magnets, and that like attracts like, what part of you has your magnet activated to the wrong frequency, to the wrong thing? Because they didn't come and fall in your lap by chance. It's going to be attracted.
I call that putting the cart before the horse.
Yes.
I'm not saying
that's literally what I call it.
So I'm not saying that you can't do, you have to do all the self-work, but you have to do just enough to switch yourself, like to flip that switch on of being that slightly arrogant but confident, I am the God of my reality. I command and demand this to happen.
Yeah.
Another thing that I used from you, Persis, was the whole, test yourself.
Yeah.
Test your manifestation. So even if it's as small as somebody's going to give me a quarter today, or somebody's going to buy me a coffee today. So I turned it into an affirmation. I'm so glad that a random person was kind to me and bought me a cup of coffee today.
Yeah.
And it happened. So once I had that revelation, I had just come out of an extremely abusive relationship. I felt like crap about myself. I really did. And I realized that I was the problem. So when I accepted my responsibility, in being the problem, then that allowed me to pinpoint the change. And that change was I needed to change my mindset, and I needed to be, as we say, delulu about things. And I was off to the races. So I was still doing little bits and pieces out of the lack that wasn't exactly there with the rest of me.
Yeah.
Lack is your biggest defeater. Lack and fear are the two biggest things that people will struggle with no matter where you are on this journey.
Yeah.
And so once I got rid of the rest of the ick, I literally sat down and said, I want to be a wife. I want to be spoiled. I want to be loved unconditionally. I want my dream man to be obsessed with me.
Yeah.
And so that is what I did. What I started doing was I would see all these love TikToks because
I'm on that side of TikTok too. I love it.
And at first it disgusted me because I was slightly jealous, and I was like, I don't have that. I really want that. So I would just scroll them away. But once I changed my perspective and changed my mindset to a mindset of gratefulness, I would comment, I'm so grateful that you found this love. I'm so happy for you. And then those comments turn to, I call this into my life. I call this energy into my life. And so even though it's not a traditional affirmation, it's still me saying, typing, and thinking 3 forms of what I want to do, what I want to come to me. And there's no discrepancy. There's no contraindication on what I want. I want this energy, and I want it in my life.
Yeah.
So going forward than that, I remember December 2nd was the first time I started doing that. I got rid of all the sneaky links. I got rid of I stopped talking to any man that wanted something from me that wasn't going to be fruitful. I got rid of any person romantically that did not serve a purpose. If I wanted to be a wife, I needed to act like one. And that's the other step of manifestation, in my opinion.
Leveling up.
You put the energy out there, but then you have to move forward with the action, because if you move forward with the action, then you can ignore your 3D and live in the end state.
Yeah.
December 2nd, I started doing that. By February 6th, my dream man messaged me and asked me out on a date, and we've been together ever since. The biggest tool that helps me is when I have extreme highs and extreme lows, because it still comes through. I affirm my tush off.
Patootie.
My patootie off. I affirm. If I am down, sad, depressed, and crying, I affirm like nobody's business. I'll just say T. T is obsessed with me. T loves me like no other. I'm the only woman for him. He can't see any other woman through the same way as he sees me. I am deserving. Everything I desire, like just going through the affirmations, crying, halfway praying,
profusely.
just affirming profusely. Affirming my way out of that.
Yeah.
And when I come out of it, I feel much better. It doesn't take me so long to pull myself out of that hole.
Yeah.
And sometimes even for me, like when I'm in that state, when I feel not my best, like it's hard for me to get those affirmations out, because I know that I don't necessarily believe that. But I continue to say that affirmation until it becomes easier and it rolls off my lips like butter.
And I wanna chime in for 2 seconds, because what she said there was so profound, and I know it was such a simple statement, but so many people are gonna look over it and think that, whatever. But you don't have to believe it to have it. You don't. You just have to keep choosing it. And that's the one skill a lot of people are not willing to do. And when I say not willing to do, it's not that they don't want it. They do. But they're not willing to do the difficult work to get it. Now, the difficult work is not actually difficult work. It's not a lot of physical exertion over here. But it's when being faced with something that is the opposite or partial or whatever, or absence of your desire, still waking up every single day and claiming that shit, and claiming it, and claiming it in the midst of adversity, in the midst of partials, in the midst of nothing, in the midst of the void, in the midst of emptiness, in the midst of nothingness. Claim your shit. Claim it. Because this is the thing that a lot of you guys are not, I can tell it's not fully sinking in. And I want to say it in a different way this time, so hopefully it'll click. You don't require to believe Jack, you know what, and the Bean Man. You're not required to believe it. If you can believe it, you're going to get results way faster. But you're not required to believe it. And I think a lot of people think they have to believe it to see it.
No.
I mean, you don't need to. You don't need to. And so when it comes to this scenario, what I want you to understand is that your 3D is actually your best friend, because it's always giving you feedback on where your beliefs have not fully loaded, is the way that I like to refer to it as, because I like to think of manifestation like my favorite Netflix show that I've just selected, and the little loading bars there, loading 10%, 20%, 40%, 80%, 100%. Our reality is loading to the degree of our beliefs. And so if we're without our desire, it means our beliefs have not loaded, which means the show is not playing, which means you're not in the reality that you desire. And so when it comes to this situation, the overarching point that I'm trying to make here is what you claim when you are in the absence, partial, or even presence of dictates what you attract next.
Absolutely.
I do not. Yeah, go ahead.
I also like Lucky Girl Syndrome. That was my jam. I'm telling you.
I love it.
Because what I would also do is I would incorporate affirmations in regular conversations.
Yeah.
So like if you and I are talking, you're like, girl, you know, you cool. We should be friends. I'd be like, you know what, girl, I am everybody's favorite person.
Absolutely.
I'm the luckiest girl on the planet. You just don't even know. Stick with me and I'll take you places. You know, things like that that kind of change the way you talk about yourself and change the way you feel about yourself. Because for me, if I say it, hear it, and think it, that's 3 different pathways for me to get my manifestation. Now, I don't want everybody to think that, you know, when you're trying to manifest your SP, that it's going to be all rainbows, sunshines, and unicorn fluff. It's not. There's still going to be rocky moments. In those moments, my key phrase that works for me is, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because I know we're going to get married. I know that we are in a healthy, happy relationship. Like, I know these things, so I'm not worried about it. And I keep it moving.
And when it comes to that, think of the aura of, like, how do you say, almost like confidence and sophistication of that. Because at the end of the day, the only time people truly get nervous, I feel, is when they actually just have a lack of belief in themselves, or they're too 3D fixated. Because this person, from what I understand, like, he was a completely new attracted person.
Well, unbeknownst to me, he had been into me for 10 years. But
Right.
I will give you a little nugget. So the very first time I laid eyes on him, my only thought, and this leads me to my next point, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, you're good.
The very first day I saw him, I was like, oh, I could get him. I could get him to be with me. And then I put it out of my mind. And for the next 10 years, I am the person that this man wanted to be with more than anybody on this planet. Because I was so detached from that outcome.
Yeah.
That I just put it out there and I was like, forget about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I totally get it. I was just saying that it wasn't like technically someone you were having in mind. It was someone that was technically like from the past, but she more overarched, like put out a theme of what she wanted, an energy. She claimed the energy of what she wanted. And then the man came back. And then the man showed up. And, you know, this works for absolutely anyone and anything. I always prefer you to focus on what is the highest form of love that you want, knowing that you deserve it all. Claim that energy and bless it onto your life, and then just be open, like arms wide open, like ready to give the universe a giant hug for them to deliver this into your lap. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we should be more fixated on getting the type of high quality, high caliber treatment, because good people deserve to be loved deeply, cared for deeply, committed to deeply. They deserve an extraordinary type of love. And so my whole thing is like getting you to be in the highest, best form or expression of a romantic relationship as humanly possible. And when you focus on how you actually want to feel, how you actually want to be treated, maybe what's the lifestyle that you want, how do you want to feel around this person? How do you want the dynamic to be? How do you want to, even get along with other people in their lives? How do you want to be seen and heard and taken care of? And then you're just like, I want this, and I claim this energy on my life. Watch the hell out.
Yes, I am a force to be reckoned with. And I truly believe that. So at this time, the other thing I wanted to say before I move forward is, if you guys are manifesting and you feel like it's not working, use that frustration, use that anger, that depression, use it to manifest. Because and that's another thing I learned from Persis as well. Manifest with your emotion, because it's pure, raw emotion.
Yeah.
Even if you say, I am deserving, and that's all you can, just manifest with that emotion. Because it will get you there, because you are so open and receptive to what you're saying when you're in that state. It has no choice but to manifest.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, there is a little bit of a question that's here, and I think she wants
Okay.
me to ask you, is letting go better than focusing on actually manifesting a specific person? My thoughts on that are, very specific these days, but she wants to hear from you. So I'm turning it over to you, my love.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sorry. It said, is letting go better than focusing on actually manifesting an SP? I guess what she's asking is, you weren't really manifesting a specific person. You focused on claiming the energy and opened yourself up. So she's
Yes.
saying, is that better than manifesting an SP?
Well, sort of, kind of, in a way. I feel like it goes hand in hand. You can't you can't manifest something and then try to control who and what it is. If you pick an SP and you want that SP, that's perfectly fine. But you still have to work on your self-concept to believe that this is what you are deserving of.
Yeah.
We're constantly growing and learning. However, once you come into the state of being confident and delusional, you release that control over, everything you want. For me, I have a underlining belief that just because I want it doesn't mean that it's good for me.
Yeah.
So sometimes letting go is the way to go, just to open yourself up, like Persis said. But I believe in letting go, you release the attachment to the outcome, which allows you to live in the end state however you choose that to be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't really do a lot of SP work anymore. My parents do. They take on a lot of it, and their results are wild, like people getting engaged in 90 days. So if you guys are interested in that, I definitely recommend grabbing coaching with Kim or Sam. But what I will say to add an extension to that, and I know people love to twist my words, is I feel like if you're not in a space where you're willing or able or capable of doing self-concept work on yourself, and you're not able to change how you see them, you should give it up anyway, because you're just going to waste years of your life waiting to be the exemption to the law, and that's not possible. If you can't do the 2 requirements that the law requires for you to get a result, you're just fooling yourself and you're wasting your time. And whether we like it or whether we don't, women have a little bit more of a ticking time clock than a man. I recently spoke, and my mom spoke to a gentleman who's 65 years old, manifesting an SP, and he's giving up now. Imagine that. Sit with that statement for a second. He's giving up now, thinking she'll never change. The statement itself, she'll never change, shows how much lack is surrounding hanging on to a specific person. I prefer to claim the treatment and commitment and care and love and adoration. And one of my new clients, she's a business owner. She said it very well. I want to be someone's whole world. I want to be someone that a man is absolutely in love with, has hearts in his eyes for, and is obsessed with, and would do anything for me. That's the energy that I want. And she's like, I'm open to it in any form. Now, the reason I prefer that these days, after speaking with tens of thousands of SP people, is I feel like a lot of us people have an SP coming from a place of lack, because they're fixated on this super deep connection, which is mainly based in trauma. And so for them to let it go, it feels like a lack of safety. They're like, no, but there's a parallel reality where this is happening and that is happening. Yeah, but can you access it? Can you access it? Can you do the work to get a result? I found that in my compilation of romantic history, her compilation of romantic history, a lot of people's compilation of romantic history, we usually tend to sell ourselves short more than anything else. So sometimes removing a person and focusing on the energy you want to bless onto your life is a lot more healthier. Results come 10 times faster. And it's also not rooted in lack because you have clarity. When you're trying to align to the reality where this person is that person, a lot of times it's just a lack of faith in the overall process. And it also is mainly trauma based, because think of it this way: if we're manifesting that person, it means some part of them is not giving you the best treatment, not committing to you the most, not loving you the most, and not caring about you the most, not even having the decency or the courtesy to communicate with you the most. And that comes from, once again, self-concept issues. So if we're attracting from a place of lack, that's why a lot of people, when they do the work, I'm sure you've heard the stories, lose interest in an SP. And that's because what you're attracted to when you're wounded will turn you off when you're healed. Not always, but sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. And so that's what I'll say on that. I'm sure someone will still find something to twist in my words, but I say this after having spoken with 10,000 people. So anyone who's a hater, speak to 10,000 people and then, come back to me, is what I'll say.
Can I piggyback off of that?
Piggyback, girl.
So when it comes to lack and your beliefs in that, another thing that I learned from you that really worked for me was the fact that you have to stop those thoughts.
Yeah.
All men suck.
Yeah.
Stop those thoughts mid-track. I can't do this. Nope. I am deserving of everything I desire.
Yep.
Once you get into a habit of not permitting access to what you cannot do and giving access to what you can do, everything will change. I had an SP that I was manifesting the patootie. I was manifesting this man. I just knew that
I was manifesting him so hard.
Girl, I was like, everything was about him. I'm like, yep, I got to do my self-concept, but yep, he is the one. He is the one that I'm going to spend. Girl, that man, I don't even talk to that man anymore.
We see ourselves so short when we're trying to get it out of a person. That's the only thing that I've learned. That's the only thing I've learned is if we actually ask ourselves separate from a person, how do I want to be loved and chosen and shown up for and committed to? A lot of times if you ask yourself, do I think that person can be that person right here, right now at face value? A lot of times the answer is no.
Yep. And that comes from wanting it right here, right now. There are steps that you have to take in order to be an instant manifester. You don't just, yesterday I didn't know about law of attraction. Today I do. Tomorrow I have everything I want. There are steps and you can't skip over. Sometimes you will get lucky with instant manifestation if you haven't improved your self-concept or if your subconscious isn't where it needs to be, because honestly, you fell into a loop where you truly believe that. However, you have to learn to accept your part in what is going on now and truly believe that you are capable of changing your entire reality from top to bottom, and then you can focus on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So that's my belief. Now that with the help of your teaching, so now that I have the man in the bag, now I have moved forward to my professional life.
Yeah.
And it's manifesting just the way that it's going to happen, just how it is. My boyfriend, he loves me. I don't open doors. I don't open car doors.
Period.
If he is around, he gets literally angry if I even go to touch a door.
Period.
I don't have to cook. I don't have to clean. I don't have to pay any bills. I get foot massages, girl. Listen, I ain't never princess. We are at Empress treatment. Do you understand me?
Ooh, shit. I'm getting goosebumps. Talk yo shit, girl. Talk yo shit.
I mean, breakfast in bed more times than
Ooh.
I've ever had in my life.
Oof.
He takes my shoes off. If I want it, I have it.
I love
He
it.
does not want me stressing out about a thing. You hear me? Not one thing.
Ooh.
I don't care if it's an ant on the side of the road, on the sidewalk where we walk in. He will take 4 steps before me. So if that thing is going to stress me out, he wants to get rid of it.
Ooh, I'm warm. I don't know about you guys. I'm warm. I love it.
Okay? This is 2 years worth of work.
To manifest something in
refining.
60 days.
Yes.
And
December 2nd to February 6th.
yeah.
And when I tell you this every day, I just can't believe I'm with you. I am so grateful to wake up next to you. I never thought this would happen. You are the best person. You are my favorite person. I will work as hard as I have to give you everything you deserve.
You know what this reminds me of? Have you ever seen this TikTok thing of like, there's this guy and he's like a little bit younger, okay, for my cougars out there. And he goes, how much does the whole world cost? I'm gonna get her the whole world. And it was like focusing on like how when a man is truly enamored and head over heels in love with his woman, he's willing to do anything on God's green earth to make her happy. And that's the type of love I think all good women need to be having in their lives. That's the type of love that people like us who are the overkind, overcaring, overloving, overgiving individuals, people like us who wear their heart on their sleeve and who are really, really, how do I say, like, they're the people with the purest of hearts, purest of intention. The people who give love so unconditionally, and all they want is they just want to have their own love story. They just want to be able to give unconditional love and know that they're safe and in a place to also receive that back. Because that type of love is once in a lifetime type of love. The love that you have to offer is once in a lifetime type of love. And I bet the only thing that's really missing is that it's someone to give you at least reciprocal, if not above and beyond energy. Because the people who love the hardest deserve to have love the most. But a lot of times they don't, because their lover girl, lover boy type of energy is also deeply seated in actually self-concept issues. And so goes to show, once again, all roads lead back to what? And identity work, embodiment work, you don't need to believe it in order to see it, but you need to choose it. You need to choose it every day in the face of adversity, in the face of incompletes. You need to nervous system regulate this scenario as well. You need to be able to get on board and energetically normalize this new type of living in your mind, body, soul. If you were actually to be given the most tomorrow, the dream man, the dream treatment, what she described, would you be able to hold it, or how would your personal insecurities ruin the relationship? It's deep work. Identity work and belief work is deep work. I don't say that to put a limitation. I say that it's not for the faint of heart and for people who are not willing to do the work. Because you'll never be able to not do the work and get a result. The work is the work. The work is non-discriminatory. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, yellow with pink polka spots. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You can't, pay $200 and pass go and avoid it. It doesn't care about your class. It doesn't care about your religion. It doesn't care about your race. It doesn't care about your socioeconomic status. The work is the work, and the work just needs doing. So knowing that, and knowing that personal accountability is such a huge piece in it, it's more so, how do you want to move forward? I love this conversation so much. So I want to kind of, I know we're kind of already over time a little bit, but I want to ask you, are there any pieces of advice that you want to maybe close on, things that you want to offer to these guys, these individuals, anything at all, anything from your heart that you want to give, whether it's advice, whether it's anything? I just want to turn it over to you and see what are some things that you'd like to tell the people.
I would say, if wherever you are in this journey, sit down. Well, first, the self-concept journal that you have really works wonders.
It's a good journal.
That worked for me, absolutely. And sit down and figure out what you want. Like, be really real with yourself and honest with yourself and say what you want. And then using that manifestation equation, like, I took what I wanted and then I turned it into an affirmation, and then I set out to believe it so that I could better my self-concept. Start with self. Go inward and start with self. Then everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
Use your emotion to manifest. Use your emotions to affirm, because they will never steer you wrong. You cannot do this wrong. You absolutely cannot.
It's completely personalized to you. You know, you got to do what works for you. Do not try to be out here and be one of those people copying someone else's plan. I'm willing to bet money it wouldn't even work for you. And the only reason I say that is because plans are made based upon the limitation of one's mind. So ours plan, if I try to use it, and if me and R are not exactly like our brains would have to be identical. Our traumas would have to be identical. And the way we internalized it would have to be identical. And no two people's brains, experiences, or how they interpreted it are the same. Ours, you know, stories are different than my stories. So instead of trying to copy someone else's plan, focus on actually, like, what are the stories that you're hanging on to that are holding you back? What are your beliefs?
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not this whole like, okay, I gotta manifest. Like, have fun with it. Be easy with it. Like, there used to be times where I would absolutely manifest or think I was manifesting, and I was just spinning my wheels in the mud, and I'm like, why am I not getting results?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't getting results because in accordance to me, I wasn't doing it right.
Yeah.
I was affirming and calling myself living in the end state, but I didn't put the energy into it that I needed to. I wasn't creating the path to for my manifestation to come to fruition, because I was so hooked on the end result.
Yeah.
So just have fun with it. Do what comes natural to you. Use your emotion, and however you feel comfortable manifesting, do it that way.
Yeah. Focusing on your limitations and your weaknesses and making them into your strengths is an elite skill. Elite.
But I will definitely say, though, like, I wouldn't be where I am if I wasn't, if I didn't use your teachings. And I know people are like, well, she's her friend. She probably got free coaching. No, we don't have that kind
I didn't even know she was doing it. I just got told later. It's almost like when someone buys you a gift and they didn't ask you, like, what size, shoe you wear. And then it just so happened to be they bought the exact perfect size. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I just got informed of it after the fact.
Yep. The only reason why I was a little bit more advanced coming into this game was only because I was able to correlate my teachings as a child growing up in a Southern Baptist church to the law of attraction.
And I think a lot of religious people are going to love this. They're going to love this. I don't have enough of these types of lives on my page because I'm also very religious. We're not of the same faith, I know, but like, I think that not only that, but we had gone through such evolutions of trying teachings and failing and not really, like, she was like, I'll give you an example, but I'll say this before I kind of get to closing. But remember how I talk about my story and how I was manifesting for years and it just wasn't working. Like, I was manifesting for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4, like a freaking Dr. Seuss, Doctor Who book. And when it came to the scenario, I just couldn't get it to work because all mainstream coaches only ever talked about Delulu is the Salulu. I couldn't be Delulu. There wasn't enough knowledge and information. No one was really teaching it as a science or a subject. And then that's where my page was birthed, Marrying Science with Spirituality, for a fact-checked, foolproof form of manifestation. And so she was there for me during the periods of time where I was manifesting for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4, once again, like a Dr. Seuss, Doctor Who freaking book. And the people and the teachers and the education that was out there, like, it was all right. It wasn't the type that got us results. And so that's where I really went inward, and I created like my own form of teaching, weaving in like science and spirituality together for a way to make manifestation work for any and all people. And I really do believe that an identity shift, your results are less than 90 days away. She did it in 60. This woman, if you've learned this much, like, it's amazing we've been talking for an hour, but I feel like we've been talking for 4 minutes because there's still so many things to like potentially say. But I don't want this to be like a 3-hour long lecture. But what I will say is that if you really knew the nitty gritty of her romantic relationships and where she is now, this is just remarkable. It's remarkable. It's incredible. It's awe-inspiring. It is the bee's knees and so much more. And I've said this before to her, no one deserves this more than her. She is such a person that has such a heart of gold. And having witnessed my friend go through things that were very not good, to seeing her and hear her talk about this relationship, which I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know she was getting foot massages and back rubs and, you know, the king treatment that he's giving her. That's why I wanted to come on this call completely blind. But it warms my heart as one of your friends that I'm so in love with you, and I love this for you. And this is just honestly like the best gift a friend could hear or receive from another, because we want people around us to do good. I do, at least. I feel like their wins are my wins, you know, and gosh, I could keep rambling on and on and on, but I absolutely adore you. No one deserves this more than you do. And I can't wait to see all the freaking money you make, because honestly, it's just going to be such a big game changer. I'm excited for it. Do we have any other last final questions for her before I allow her to go for the rest of her Saturday? I love that you have such a big heart, Persis. Thank you. How do you do the identity change? It's just what we talked about this whole call. So this will be repurposed on my YouTube page for you guys to watch. I don't think we have too many more questions. Tomorrow we are doing a free masterclass in my Facebook group if you guys want to come and join and learn and hang out with us. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anything else you'd like to say, R, before we go?
No, just thank you for sharing your platform with me. Like, I appreciate it like no other.
Yeah.
I have always been in your corner since the day we started talking, and I will forever remain in your corner. I swear I'm your biggest cheerleader. So to see you, also to give you your flowers, to see you go from where you were to where you are now, like, I could not be happier for you. And I just know I'm back there clapping for you like a show seal, for real.
Love it. I love it.
I love it. I love that you are where you are. You have a huge heart. You're one of the best people I know, and I just appreciate you and love you.
I love you so much. Thank you. She has really seen me at rock bottoms as well, and she has been there for me in many instances, even more than, like, I know we talked about virtual friends, but like I don't want to say like a real person, but like, you know, someone that's like physically, you know, around. She's been there for me like a rock, like a pillar, through all different ebbs and flows and different versions of Persis. And she has given me self-awareness. I have learned from her. She has learned from me. And it's a beautiful, beautiful friendship. And I can't wait to see where it grows into in the next 10 years. So I love you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. And who knows, maybe we do a round 2 or a part 2 later in the future, but I will let you go. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And I love you so much.
Love you too. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. I hope you guys have loved this success story. I think that it's been amazing. I think that it's been incredible, jaw-dropping, amazing, awe-inspiring, all the words. It warms my heart to see people get the love that they deserve. And if your love life was perfect right now, think of all the other areas of your life that would positively improve just by that going well. I think that people deserve to be loved and to be loved deeply, cared for and committed to, and to be loved loudly, and to be cared for and given the absolute best treatment because you deserve it. And so when it comes to the situation, I encourage you to come out tomorrow if you desire. Watch the teachings. In the link in my bio, if you want to do a little follow spree, Insta, Facebook group, and YouTube, that's where you'll get all the updates, all the success stories. People are utilizing these teachings, reversing their HIV in 30 days, healing their cancer in 4 days, reversing their autoimmune diseases. My clients have collectively manifested over $3 billion utilizing my teachings and my specific manifestation process. Actively manifested over $3 billion utilizing my teachings and my specific manifestation process. Sorry there. My app is telling me my social media time is over. There are courses for it. There's ways to reach out. Go to the email address, manifestwithpersis@gmail.com. Ways to sign up. We have our new love program, How to Become the Dream Woman to Attract the Dream Man. It's to, learn how to become the woman that gets this type of treatment, that attracts this from men, or vice versa, whatever your preference is. It works for all genders, preferences, the whole 9 yards. It's a 3-month all-inclusive program. You have access to me to submit questions to me all day, every day. You have an ability to meet with me on coaching calls once a week for 12 weeks. You also get a full program, a course to accompany the personalized coaching. You get a personalized coaching plan, you get one-to-one calls, and you get group calls. It's a whole big thing. Hi, Tara. And so if you guys are interested to learn more about that, DM me the word elevate and let's hop on a call and talk about it. We literally just wrapped up the most amazing success story of one of my close friends utilizing my teachings and manifesting in her dream man in 60 days. And it's funny because Tara is actually one of we have come to, I was on her podcast. That was a really great podcast. You should really go listen to Tara. You should follow her. You should stalk her. Go to her Instagram. She makes such good videos. I just love her so much. She's so amazing. I literally talked to her like 2 days ago, I think. Something like that. But she's amazing. If you want to learn anything about weight loss, body love, manifesting your dream body, Tara's the girl you need to go to. Tara is amazing in that essence. But let me know if you need anything. I love you. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're stunning. You're magnificent. Don't accept anything less. You deserve the best. And let's go out there and get it. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I hope to see you at the masterclass tomorrow, and we will speak soon.